Hello friends and welcome back for episode 51 of our Terraria 1.3 Let's Play. How you all doing today? I hope you're doing fantastically well. So yesterday I felt like I was maybe missing something, and as it turns out I was. The reason I wasn't able to make the UFO event happen, or rather the probe appear, was basically to do with the fact that my dragon happened to have ticked off one of those lunatic cultists over in the dungeon area before we started. So I guess it sort of got the game in the thinking of like, we're in an event mode now, so don't spawn anything. As it turns out, well, I went and fought the rest of the pillars with the exception of one. So we're going to start off today's episode by finishing off our orange melee pillar here, the solar pillar, and then we're going to kill the Moon Lord. And in my inventory, I've got a pumpkin moon medallion, and we also could maybe go trigger the UFO event. There's lots of options. So let us go and commence the happenings then. So we had some pretty good conversation yesterday, I thought. Very useful and interesting stuff to talk about. There were some good comments that happened in reply to those. And one of which I actually thought was like a fantastic, like an upscaling of the idea that I had for what if, as a Twitch streamer, and I don't want to spend the whole episode on this again, but there were some really good points that I wanted to bring up. What if, as a Twitch streamer, when you go into a channel, there's a badge and a notification that you have to agree to that says, hey, I'm playing the game blind, please agree that you don't want to spoil things before you enter my chat. I think that's a great idea, and I think the one way that could be made better is the way that this person mentioned it in the comments, which is, well, let them have badges or whatever they want to have on the video window beforehand, but also just let the streamer actually configure what they want the box to say. Also, I need to actually, like, concentrate a little bit on the game here. So that way, if they have some very unorthodox sounding rules, and the commenter mentioned, like, please don't remind me of what time it is, or things like that, you should be able to maybe put those in a quick bullet-pointed format that people would have to see before they start chatting. Now, it sounds like a simple thing, and I know you can just say, hey, why don't you just look down in the freaking rules before you do it? A lot of the time, because the panels are so static and not very interesting, I think a lot of people just never bother to engage in that kind of thing. I think it's very likely, in fact, that the majority of streamers that people view, they won't even look at all at that type of thing. So, it sucks, but I think this would be kind of a useful way to get around that, actually. It doesn't have to be very intrusive, and I don't think it'll really cost much in terms of production to set that up. I also don't think it'll cause a lot of people to click away from channels, because, well, we're used to, like, one pop-up as long as it's not super intrusive, and if it's going to be a mature-rated stream, well, do a twofer then. Have the pop-up be both of those notifications at the same time, instead of go through one, go through the other, or something like that. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that was kind of a cool idea. Another person mentioned, what if there was sort of like an aggregating channel on Twitch, and I have mixed feelings about this concept. Let me explain a little bit more what that might even mean. And please correct me if I'm wrong, or if I, like, kind of mess with the idea that you had proposed in the comments, but I think the idea was that there would be a channel or several channels that would sort of curate groups of content based on whatever they feel like is necessary, and could provide exposure to smaller streamers, people just starting out. Maybe you belong to the speedrunner genre, or you belong to, like, the, you know, platformer genre or something like that. Maybe it would group people who tend to play the same things together into one place, so then you can sort of search and find discovery by a new bunch of things like that, or maybe people could just form their own groups, which they kind of already have, because there's such a thing as teams on Twitch, which, you know, anybody can make one. I don't know how exactly that process works, but it is possible to do it, and you'll go in league with a bunch of other streamers, and you can get a page that's like, here, out of the group of us is who is live right now, and it will show usually the one with the most views on the main team page, so then if you want to watch them, well, it's like a quick access bit to get to some other streamers. I don't know, I think that's a pretty good idea. I think right now discovery for teams is really bad, but I know that they did a Q&A session on Twitch that they actually had mentioned. They were probably going to address that at some point and make that a little bit better for discovery. I mean, discovery is kind of bad for everybody on Twitch, so unless you're man versus game, or unless you have front page promotion, you're probably not going to get seen by a ton of people. And oddly enough, I've actually had front page promotion by virtue of being on the NLSS, and it still hasn't resulted in very many new clicks of people coming over to view my stream, because people tend to stop at the one that's actually on that promotion. As weird as that sounds, I don't really understand why that always is, but it seems like people are content with, like, here's the thing in front of me, let's just not think too hard about it. Alright, so, yeah, I think there's a lot of room to grow in that respect. I'm probably gonna die here before we get the solar pillar down. I could probably heal again, though. I know I'm not using my items to the best of my ability. Granted, oh, I did actually kill it while I was dead. Fair enough. Good enough. So anyway, the thing that I had a little bit of a contesting on that idea with was that, well, I've been around on, like, our Let's Play for a long time. There's been a lot of people that have posited the idea of, hey, I'm going to make a YouTube channel, and I'm going to open it up to all you people here on our Let's Play, and you can feel free to send me your Let's Play videos, and I will host them on my Let's Play channel. And because it's all of us creating content, there will always be something for people to watch. And I think the sum total of that is, it's a lot of people promoting a lot of other people to no end, really. I don't mean to sound dismissive about the whole thing. Oh, I need to get home, by the way, before the freaking Moonlord spawns. I don't mean to sound dismissive, but you need some major force to pull people in the first place, otherwise it just feels kind of like, what's really the impetus to get people in here, right? It's all, do you want to just be promoted to? Because you probably don't. You want to have some major reason to be there. Anyway, let's get up into our box here. Oh my god, I forgot to set up the timers on this. Alright, I just have to hope that I can pull this off in time. Alright, we're gonna do that, and we're gonna set up that. Oh, we gotta do this outside of the box. Hang on. Oh, this is bad. This is what I get for talking too much. I know this is probably just desserts for quite a few people. Like, man, I wish this guy would shut up sometimes. I have gotten that comment, by the way. It seems very counterintuitive to me. Because, well, I mean, it's part of the fun of watching a Let's Play, right, is listening to the conversation. And I totally value the people that in the comments that are like, hey, this is like an episode where I guess I can just kind of leave it on in the background and just sort of listen along to things. Oh, I should probably switch this stuff over now that I'm not flying. I have no problems with that. If you want to watch my videos to fall asleep, if you want to watch my videos to just listen to the chatter in the background, by all means, do whatever feels right to you. But anyway, I think that some of the things that were mentioned as far as, like, the Twitch multi-page idea could be useful, but I think just as well would be if we could sort of tag our channels as predominantly certain genres of games, and then maybe be able to search through the genres that way to get a little bit better discovery. If you predominantly play roguelike indie games, maybe there'd be a way that you could set that as, like, this is my main deal, and then there's, like, my secondary and my third, or however many they want to set as, like, your primary sorting features. Or if you're just straight up a variety channel, like, I guess I would consider my own channel to be, might be less useful there, but maybe you could just set it up as, like, variety, AAA, indie. Like, it could be both. Maybe you do a little of everything, and I feel like I do. But I think another thing that could work really well is like a surprise me kind of option. I think somebody even said a comment very similar to that, where it really has very little in the way of sorting. You hit a button, you get a streamer, maybe it could be powered a little bit based on, like, chat interaction, and it doesn't have to be necessarily like you have to have X amount of viewers to get on this list. It could just be like the amount of chat lines per how many viewers there are makes sense, or something like that, that it, like, the ratio works out well. There's probably ways that people would then use that to cheese the system, so they probably shouldn't expose what that algorithm is, but just throwing around ideas. So yeah, I think that there's a lot of options that still could be pursued by Twitch. It sounds like they want to pursue them, they're just doing it maybe a bit slowly because they've got so much on their plate, which I kind of appreciate and understand as well. I watched this Q&A session they did, though, and the Moonlord is now dead, and it sounded like they were, like, mostly engaged. They were paying lip service to a lot of the things people said. Oh my god, seriously, I got the Terrarian again? I really didn't think that could happen yet again. But here it is. Another portal gun, another Terrarian, and some more Luminite. Well, I'm glad we got the Luminite, not so glad we got these, because I've got them, and I've got a good one already, so, oh well. Let's move on. It is only 10:22 p.m. in the world of Terraria, so why don't I jump straight to the next task, which is to summon the Pumpkin Moon, and we can just keep on rolling. You know what time it is. Here we go. First wave, Scarecrow. So I want to try and take these guys down as quickly as humanly possible. I did not necessarily do this optimally, because I've started not at, like, the very first minute of night. So I'm a little bit at a disadvantage there. Let's get back to where we belong, which is further away from my house. There was also some interesting talk about, well, someone asked me more specifically, like, if I could explain how ads work on Twitch, regarding, like, the payment process for them. And I can give it my best shot. I'm not sure if I'm necessarily the best at explaining this process, and there might be some elements that I might leave out, but my understanding is the way it works is this. You, as a viewer, get fed ads by Twitch, who hires and subcontracts out the ad buys. So they actually have, like, a group of people that they deal with in their own, you know, departments that buy the ads and target them based on a variety of variables and factors that then they get served to you when people click the Run Ads button on their dashboard. Oh wow, we skipped a wave already. We're on wave 3. That went really fast. So the idea then is people watch those ads, hopefully without ad block, because if they do watch them with ad block, I don't believe there is anything that happens as far as payment goes. There's actually a little checkbox you can press if you're on Twitch that's like, please remind viewers not to use ad block, basically, and it's like, hey, we noticed that we had trouble running this ad. They do it in a very non-confrontational way, which I appreciate, because I personally don't generally mind too much, especially since the ad runs are so little in terms of payout. But, so yeah, you get served ads, you watch them, and then the money gets collected by Twitch, and every month it gets distributed based on the total of your ad impressions, which they have all their statistics and analytics tracked in the background. So there is a little bit of a lead time on that stuff, as with all of these services. It's always running like a month and a half behind or a month behind what you're actually at. Or is it 2 months? All of a sudden now I'm forgetting. But yeah, if you're in June, it'll be, will it be May or will it be, see now I can't remember. I need to actually look at my documents for whatever reason. This is like a super obvious thing that I should just know off the top of my head, but just because I've been involved in the latency of it all for so long, it doesn't feel like a thing I need to pay attention to anymore, so I just forget. I think it's 1 month, but anyway, correct me if I'm wrong. So far, we're tearing up the Pumpkin Moon. Very little in the way of trouble here, which I love. We're just going to see if we can get as far as we can get. Once we get to Pumpkins, they're going to start dropping good drops. The higher we get, the larger the chances for good drops, so we want to get, ideally, to, like, wave at least, what, 10 or 15? It goes up to a certain point, and then it's, I think it stops adding new stuff to it, but by the end, it's, like, absolute total chaos. We're making okay time as well. I mean, we started at 10:30 p.m., and now it's 1:30, so doing okay, I'd say. Damage output is fantastic. My damage taken is not super bad either. I should probably have these suckers going too. The crowd control offered by this weapon is doing some really good stuff for me. I guess every time I kill a pumpkin, getting all of those heart drops is definitely keeping me alive for a while too. Actually, everything's dropping a ton of these, so it's working out pretty well. There was another good question here. I'm trying to remember exactly how it was phrased. What if companies like AAA companies or larger game developers hired YouTube Let's Players to do, like, official Let's Plays of their games? And my initial knee-jerk reaction to reading that much of it was to be like, oh, well, yeah, that's been going on for ages. But I think they clarified it as, like, what if that company literally just co-opted that YouTuber and then made all of their content be about this game? I strongly believe that this has happened as well, and I'm struggling to think of an example, but I feel almost positive that I should be able to come up with an example if I looked hard enough where this has actually happened. I'm not even saying that with any kind of judgment attached either. Like, it's just you do what you need to do for the sake of business. It is just business most of the time in that case. If people want to take that agreement, they most likely made it worth their while, and, you know, who can really harm or shame them over that, right? But I do believe that this is a thing that's happened. I don't know that it really matters all that much as long as there's transparency about it. I've personally tried to always associate with people who put a very high value on transparency as far as that goes. If you do some kind of sponsored content, like, I don't shame you over it, but, like, it's good to know when that's going on because it totally colors your biases about what you're able to do in terms of disclosure. And if you absolutely love a game, and then people find out way later that you were also paid a ton of money, well, it starts to look a bit shady, and it is very possible that you legitimately, organically love that game for completely unassociated reasons. But unfortunately, due to the nature of press and the way things tend to work, well, it just works out a lot better if you just say it right up front. It really helps everybody. It helps you, it helps the viewers, it helps people understand how your community works. So there's not really a downside to it. I can't imagine somebody being upset at somebody being like, hey, I'm getting paid to make these videos. Be that as it may, I will still give you my objective opinions. If they're colored, it is in a way that is beyond my control. So, unfortunately, that is just the nature of being a human being. Oh no! I died. I thought I was actually going to pull back out of that because there was a ton of hearts right there. I think the pumpkin moon stays going even after death, though. Let's see if that's the case. Okay, I'm just going to heal immediately. There we go. Oh, the music has changed. It's also 4:30, so I don't know which thing is responsible there. Was it because I died? It probably was. Alright, let's see what our haul was there. We got a few gold out of the situation. We got a platinum, actually. And we got a few drops. We got a cursed sapling. We got 2 cursed saplings. This is a pet that will follow us around. Pet can just be put right here so we can see it. It's so weird to me that it's the sound of biting into an apple every single time that I summon the pet. I don't understand that correlation. Why is this grave not picking up? My inventory is not full. It doesn't seem to be sitting on the ground. What is wrong with this? Oh, I guess I just couldn't click on it because it wasn't clicking in the right spot. Maybe the hitbox was not where I expected it to be. No matter. So that was an okay first pumpkin moon. I mean, I expected to probably make it through to the end of that, and I should have. I just kind of messed up a little bit and took a bit more damage than I should have. It's okay. We'll live through this difficult time. Somebody linked me a PDF file, like I had mentioned, of a checklist of all of the items in Terraria, and my freaking goodness, there are more items than I even thought possible. And that's saying something, considering how many hours in this game I've spent. Oh, we got the Necromantic Scroll. I forgot we'd want this at some point. Increases max number of minions, increases minion damage by 10%. It's actually a pretty good accessory to have for a summoner build. But looking at that list in that PDF, I went, oh my god, I need like triple the amount of chests that I have right now to be able to accommodate all those items. I thought I understood where we were at. I don't think I did. Still. Because I've just never put myself in that position that I've needed that many chests before, and, well, I probably never will actually follow through on it completely. But I do want to do my best to actually legitimately collect as many, if not all of the items as I possibly can. It sounds ridiculous, but it's like a fun little, over a long period of time kind of task that I could do, sort of like collecting all the orbs in Crackdown, which sounds, well, much less long-term, but for me, as it turns out, it was. So we've got one more task that I want to try and accomplish this episode, which is to go head on over to the beach again. And now that we've got no dragon following us around, we should be able to hopefully get past the cultists without triggering them and get to a position where maybe a UFO probe will show up. We set up the 200 whatever lizard blocks last time, and we've got blue candles over there, so we should be in a good place to get that to actually work out. There were a lot of people I noticed actually in the comments that were saying like, oh, well, it's too bad the series is almost over. It really doesn't have to be, though. I know it sounds like it should be, given the progress and the fact that I've cleared all the bosses and such. It doesn't still have to be. There's so much more that I want to do. Just collecting all the items by itself. And, of course, the final boss, yes, I need to say it that many times, is, of course, the Dungeon Guardian. Because I've never killed the Dungeon Guardian anywhere in anything I've ever done. And, well, I'm wondering, what if this is the one instance where I need to actually, like, bring in Austin and the two of us need to brainstorm how I'm going to take the sucker down. I've read strategies about how to kill him. They look really convoluted and complicated. I might have to go for it at some point, though, because he drops a freaking pet, and I want to get all the pets, of course. So that's 14 and 10, so 24 gold between the two of these drops is actually not terrible. I mean, it's not a full platinum or anything, but still, we're almost up to 7, so that's pretty decent. I didn't end up getting any strange plants today, unfortunately, so we're gonna have a little bit of dearth of dyes. Oh, you know what else I could do? Oh, I forgot this guy does this freaking crazy rocket thing when he's trying to move around. Why don't we make one of the luminite dyes just to see what that looks like, because I actually don't even know. Let's take some bars out of here. It was like 7, maybe. And we'll just see what he needs. Yeah, I know we still need to make more... Oh, void dye, is that the one? Yep, that's the one. It's just... Okay, it's 5 and a bottle of water for void dye. I know there's still more armors that I need to set up and do. I will get to those. I've been kind of waiting, though, just because I want to set it up to be in a position where if I'm going to get the armor, I want to actually take advantage of it, which means I want to actually have, like, a good build to go along with that. And I'm still missing a lot of accessories, so I don't know where exactly it will buckle, and I will decide which way I want to go with it, but eventually that'll happen. This will be our strange plant for today, I suppose, our void dye. Let's go outside and see what it looks like. Put it on the chest piece. Alright, that's pretty cool. It's like kind of a black strobiness. Works pretty well with the glowing mushroom dye as well. Let's see what it looks like on the wings. That complements nicely as well, too. We've got a lot of kind of black, glowy blue effect going on, and that's neat. It's going to take a lot of bars, though, to set this up as a thing that could be on everything. See what that looks like on the pet. Oh my god, so creepy. Pretty cool, though. So we'll put that back. Don't want to actually roll with this dye on me right now. I might. Put that on the helmet. Oh, that just looks out of place, doesn't it? And now that I don't have the blue dye on the wings, that looks even more out of place. Yeah, it's like, if anything's gonna vibrate, it should probably be the cloak. That seems kind of cool. Maybe I'll roll with this for the moment. It's just a kind of a small twist on what I've been rolling with for my cosmetic setup. There's so many more armors, too. Oh my god, I was looking through the, like, the vanity armors and all the dev sets. That's gonna take a lot of farming. I don't know if I'm actually up to this task, but I'm going to say I am for now, and we're just going to hope for the best and see how it works out. We're also not going to summon the dragon until we get over there. Oh, don't need to worry. Okay, I was going to go back and go get the buffs, and then I realized, well, I'm not really fighting a boss over there, and by the time I come back to go deal with whatever it is that I'm going to fight, well, I'm going to have the ability to go back to the house anyway. And I'm just checking for strange plants. I didn't walk the dog across my plannery this time. That's my loss, I guess. Man, the amount of buildings, too. I'm gonna have to look through that PDF and, like, set up a flowchart about how many buildings I need to build if I want to display all the stuff properly, because the amount of armor sets that each are gonna require a mannequin is going to geographically become very large. Not to mention all of the different animals and plants that are gonna need their own little arboretum area. It's asking a lot, but I want to do it. I really do. So if you want to stick around, maybe I'll be the only person on YouTube that'll have collected every single item in a YouTube Let's Play. I don't know. I'm sure I'm wrong about that, but, well, I haven't really committed to one side or the other, so maybe I haven't been able to be wrong, but maybe I'll be the first. And this is your cue to link me to the dude who did it 6 years ago and also has all the new items now. Now that I say it, I'm thinking about it, I'm like, well, there's many Terraria channels that are like, their whole channel is just Terraria, so they must have done that. If only for the sake of showing off all the items. So, yeah, I'm probably not the first. Very, very unlikely. But that would be cool if I was. Alright, I'll stop patting myself on the back now over things that I haven't actually done yet. And let's see if we can get the UFO to show up. And I am aware... Oh, that's weird. It turned green, I guess, because of the lizard blocks. I am aware that the probe will show up on my creature finder, so I've got to keep that in mind. I'm not going to summon anybody to help fight stuff right now because I actually don't want it to attack or kill the probe in case I do have the good fortune to run into such a thing. Got plenty of time here to sit back and bask in the sweet beach sun. I'll just kind of hang out up here for a sec too. I remember this always at the very wrong moment. I want to go, hey, do I want to go look and see what the statistics are of the UFO probe spawning in space versus down on the beach? I go, yes, I absolutely want to do that, and then I end the recording, and then I forget because it's rendering, and then I never get around to actually checking. You know, I could have probably brought over a worm and farmed Fishron a couple more times while I waited for this thing. Although, summoning a boss might also make it despawn too, so I don't know. And maybe I'm not staying in space long enough for this to work? I don't know. I don't know what the odds are here. I figured, though, between the lizard bricks and the blue candles, we would have something going on to bring a UFO probe our way. I'm trying to think what other things I could be doing in this general vicinity. I mean, I could be farming, I guess, the random drops that show up in the ocean, too. Not really a downside to doing that, right? I mean, well, I'll probably see the probe if I go back up to the surface. I could always use some more black ink and mucus, purple mucus. That was daunting as well when I saw how many more dyes there were that are created just by virtue of combining dyes. I'm a little terrified by that. It's probably like double the amount that I have in my crafted chest, which I thought I was like 1 or 2 away from being done. Well, maybe I am for strange plant drops, but for the rest of it, not at all. I think I'm quite far away from that. And I'm going to need to look at another flowchart just to even see what I need to combine to create other things that I need to combine. The one to make the, like, bright rainbow dye is crazy. It's like, you have to make a bright dye of every color or something, and then mix all of those together, which means you've got to make so many sets of dye, just because I think it's like, what, 1 white dye, and then each of 1 color? I don't know, I actually don't remember this well enough off the top of my head to really comment. Come on, UFO probe, don't let me down here. You've let me down so many times. I don't know why this thing seems so freaking rare lately. When I was streaming with Austin, we ran into several of them, and it really wasn't a big deal. Every time we went to look for one, it was like right there again. The only constant that I can think of is when we found the UFO probes, they were almost always in like the 3/4 position, like roughly around here on the map instead of all the way in the last quarter of the map. So I don't know. Maybe that's the better way to go. Maybe I should be up in the sky in the 3/4 position. Maybe I should go grapple up to my rail track and then... Oh yeah, this is not where my rail track is at all. Maybe I should go over to a floating island and stand up there for a bit. See if maybe one will show up in the sky. I mean, worst thing that happens is I end up with a bunch of souls of flight from farming one of those words, every time I say it, I'm like, alright, everyone's gonna second guess the way I pronounced it, so let's say it 6 different ways. It's not helpful to do that. I also need to farm more ectoplasm, but I really don't want to get on the bad side of those cultists again, because we just got over dealing with them. Okay, maybe we'll go a little bit more over to the left, where we've got a platform to jump off of, perhaps. Can I reach this even? This might be too far over. Alright. Yeah, we're very close, but we're just a little too far down. Yeah, the general elevation is much preferable over to the left, it looks like. I've still never set up my proper rainbow slime farm, which is a thing that I really did want to do quite badly. Every time people told me how to do it, I was like, alright, let's demo this out, and then I'd go stand on the edge of some biome, and I tried every combination that I could think of, and I'd never gotten them to spawn reliably. So maybe I'm still doing something wrong, or maybe I was in some sort of event every time I tried it. I don't know. It was raining. I stood on the edge of the biome like people told me. It didn't seem to do it. Where's the elevated part again? It's, oh, I already passed it. It's a little bit more to the right, and then just fly up into the air. Is there a higher chance of the UFO probes spawning at night or in the day also? That's another thing I don't know. Alright, so now we're up on a sky island. It's like a whole cool set of stuff that you can only find on Skylands. We're gonna have to do another episode soon where I just go and... Oh, there's a strange plant sitting right there. I almost didn't even notice it. We'll do an episode where we go to a bunch of different worlds. And I think what I want to do first is I'll create that crazy excavator item so I can fly and then just like drill... The drill containment unit is what that's called. And I'll just go straight through the ground, and like we could do a elevator in like all of 30 seconds, which will just be hilarious, and then we'll just freaking dominate the world. And we'll check for pyramids and all of that good stuff, see if we can get, well, anything that we're really after. I should go and check the constraints on the drill containment unit again, just to see how far away I am from having the proper items for it. The big restriction there really was just like you need one or like a group of a bunch of different bars, as well as luminite. So, I mean, I might actually be fairly close to getting to that point. No rare creatures. Oh, I'm never going to hear the end of it, by the way, if this tracker said that there was a UFO probe and then I didn't notice it. That's like my worst nightmare right now. Sometimes it just don't look. You know that. Maybe I shouldn't have wasted some of that on the void die, since I probably could use those bars for more useful things. Alright, well, I didn't really expect to just find one immediately when I came up here, but at the same time, it would have been really great if that happened. Maybe I could bring some more lizard blocks up here and just see if I can create the situation to spawn them, and then once I find one, I'll just cut in for the video next time or something. Or whenever that is that I decide to do it. I also have to do the frost moon still, and more attempts on the pumpkin moon, but again, I need more ectoplasm for that. Let's go home, and I will take some luminite bars and just see real quick what I need. Or a luminite bar. See what I need for the containment unit. Alright, drill containment unit. There it is. So I need 40 luminite, 40 chlorophyte, 40 shroomite, 40 specter, 40 hellstone, 40 meteorite. It's a tall ask, but it is probably the most powerful item in the game as far as mining goes. So I guess in that respect, I can't be too upset about it. So probably like another, well, once around the bend when it comes to luminite, we should be there. Specter bars, shroomite bars, got a long way to go, but I do have a bunch of chlorophyte, and I know there's a lot of chlorophyte waiting to be mined. Meteorite is no problem. Hellstone is super easy to get. So yeah, it's really just this grouping here and a couple more of these, and we should be good to go in the drill containment unit. So we'll say that'll be our tentative plan. Yes, there's still some things I need to farm. There's more items I need to get, more materials I need to get. But getting to the drill containment unit, getting a couple other drops from the Moon Lord would be good. And then we'll just go start looking for stuff in other places. What do we get? A pixie die. That's actually pretty good. This is one that I wanted to have more of. And I think that might be my first or second set of 3 on my list here. Crafted. Yeah, that is. So we're up to 6. So now we've got enough that I could make a nice showing of it if I wanted to. We've got pumpkins everywhere now, so I don't really have to worry about that. I do have to check into, again, what I need to do to create the frost moon. I thought that the formulas were easier back in the day. Maybe they made them harder, actually, on purpose, because it was too easy to make summon items for these things, but I don't know. Yeah, that is very, very illuminating. Very yellow and orange, but rather cool at the same time. And also, thank you for the info about creating dyed strings. I actually might have some string in one of these areas here. What was it? Is it this one? I made a silk... Oh, you know what? I probably combined it with the yo-yo bag, so actually I don't think I have the string anymore. Let's just see if we can make one to dye right now, just to see what that looks like, because I want to see if I can make it themed even better. It sucks that I can't change the color of the yo-yo itself to match the rest of my stuff and change the shooting, you know, projectiles that come off of them, but you can't have everything. Loom is over here. And where is it? Silk string. Oh, did I want to make it? I wanted to make it out of spider web, didn't I? Yeah, silk rope. I've gone too far. Alright, let's just do a quick stack there. Spider web, I've got tons of. I don't think it needs that much, but I am just curious to see. Yep, there it is. White string. We'll take that, and I believe I just need to, like, bring a dye with it, maybe? How does this work? Say I wanted to make one that's blue, so that way it matches my neon pattern. So yeah, just add a blue dye to it, and required objects none. I guess I could just do it anywhere. Rainbow one's pretty cool too, but I'd hate to waste a rainbow dye on it. Well, not waste, but no, it wouldn't be as nice. So let's grab a blue dye. I've got a lot of them because I've been collecting blueberries. And there it is, blue string. Put that in a cosmetic slot, and I'm hoping... Yep, there it is. So now we've got a blue string to match that. I could also make a green one that matches the yo-yo better. I don't know. It's up to you guys, whatever you think I should do with that kind of thing. I don't think it really matters all that much, it's just kind of for fun. Really a strange use of a cosmetic slot, honestly. It's very, very minimally useful. But if I want to collect every item, I guess I've got to make a bunch of strings of various colors. Too bad you can't make a void dye one. Make your yo-yo string freaking vibrate. the speed of sound. What did I've put away all of my glowing mushroom dyes now. There we go. I don't think I took any off of here, right? No, we're good. There we go, so it's slightly themed. Might be a little easier to lose in the background, though, so there is always that. But anyway, we're just sort of meandering, exploring possibilities for odd items that I might not have even thought to bother with. It's cool that you can do something like this, though. Anyway, that's going to be it for today's episode. I hope you've gotten the general gist of where our format is going to take us in the future. There's still plenty more Terraria to do. I might start interspersing episodes occasionally with other Let's Plays just to sort of have other stuff going on. But there will still be semi-daily, if not just actually daily, for another few weeks yet. So stick around if you're still into more Terraria. Make sure you go ahead and leave a like if you don't mind. It certainly helps me out. And I will see you again for another one tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody.